So for those of you who are video editors and you want to get more deep into the technical aspect of video editing, color correcting is a huge part of what we do as video editors. So for those of you who get your video delivered from your cinematographers or your client, it's usually shot in log or raw. If you're familiar with those terms, and you probably know a little bit about color correction. But for those of you who don't really know and want to get more into it, this tutorial is perfect for you. So one of the keys that I use for video editing is when I'm on set, or whoever I know is going to be on set, we make sure that they use a color checker. The color checker video from X-Rite is a huge asset to any production. You may look at this color checker and say, what the heck is this? What are all these color patches? I don't understand. And then, you go to your scopes in Premiere and you say, well, what are all these numbers? What is all this technical stuff? Well, that's what I'm going to walk you through today in this tutorial. So follow along, and here we go. We're going to get our clip to go from this to this. So this is it without color correction and without our LUT, and this is after color correction. This is my narrative. This is a girl in a car, gets out her tripod and her backpack, and she goes on a trip, bringing her tripod everywhere she goes. I'm gonna color correct this based on my color checker. So in this first few scenes, all this was shot during the same time of day. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my color checker clip. I'm gonna go to my effects panel, and then I'm gonna click on the free draw Bezier under opacity. Now I'm gonna make a mask out of this part right here. I'm gonna go to my Lumetri color panel, and I'm going to change my input LUT. So this is the part where, if you know anybody who shot it, whoever handed off the footage, and if they shot it in log, they should be able to tell you, oh, we shot this in Vlog, or we shot this in S-Log or C-Log. So then from there, you could download your LUTs. Usually the manufacturers of the cameras have the LUTs, or someone will shoot with the LUT baked in, so you won't need to add a LUT file. I know for these clips, my LUT is gonna be Vlog. I'm gonna go to my Vlog LUT that I have saved. You could see the LUT is applied, and it changes a little bit. So every shot is going to be treated different because of the amount of highlights that are in this shot, but we're going to use this as a jumping off point, and then we're going to go from there. So after I put the LUT on there, I'm going to go back down. I'm going to work from top to bottom here. I'm going to hit this little wrench icon, and I'm going to get rid of our vector scope for now. And I'm just going to work with the waveform RGB to get our exposure correct. What you want to start with is your highlights, your midtones, and your shadows. That's usually where I start. The range that I like to keep my highlights, depending on the scene, is usually around 80 or 90. So for this one, I'm going to go probably right here for now. I'm going to take my blacks down. You always want your blacks usually around 10. And then your shadows and midtones are usually between 40 and 50. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to boost them up a little bit. So then, when it comes to white balance, you could do one of two things. So a quick white balance is if you took this and you did a basic white balance from the gray card, and you see that it kind of gives it more of a different tone. And again, this was shot in the morning time, so it actually does look accurate, compared to where the chart was put. I like to get more in depth. I'm gonna go down to color wheels and match. And what I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna get rid of my mask. I'm gonna delete it. Then I'm going to make a new mask on each one. So I'm gonna go highlights first. I'm gonna bring back my vector scope so I can look at both of them. So what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to make this neutral, right? So if I look here, I see all three of these channels here are separated. We want them to be one unit. So to fix that, I'm gonna adjust my highlights here until all the three of them look like they turn into white. And again, it's not going to be completely white because, there are highlights, like the morning sun has more of a golden glow to it. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to move this mask down And I'm going to do the same thing with my midtones. So I'm going to stick with that for now. I'm going to bring it down. And these are my shadows. Now I can see off the bat from the eye that these basically are, it has a red tint to it. So I'm going to move it down. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to delete my mask. And I'm going to open up another mask on the whole chart like I had in the beginning. I have my white balance. Now I'm going to dive into the color aspect of it. So now, as you can see here, all these colors represent each one of these points on the vector scope. We want the yellow to be pointed to the yellow, the green pointed to the green, and so on. Certain cameras tend to favor certain color channels. Whatever you're shooting on, you need to make sure that your color is consistent, especially if you're shooting on multiple cameras and you want your color to be basically consistent through each camera. So this is really handy when you're using multiple cameras. I'm going to dive into our curves panel, and I'm going to start with hue versus saturation. I draw a dot on each of these lines. What I like to do is I like to make sure all the colors are even. So each of these little arms, as I call them, I like to keep them as even as possible. So if one's shorter than the other, I bring one out. The red channel is usually, especially in this scene, is the biggest. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, and I'm gonna bring the green up a touch. Then I'm gonna go down to hue versus hue, and I'm gonna make our points just like I did on the other one. But for this one, this is gonna change the area that basically it's pointing towards. So if you drew a straight line from here to there, basically our blue channel would be somewhere here. We want it to be here. So I'm gonna take our blue and I'm gonna scoot it. I'm gonna bring it down, and then that's gonna bring it up on our vector scope. And then that in turn changed magenta in the right direction and red. So our yellow, we could tweak a touch, but it's looking pretty good. And our green, we need to fix. I'm gonna make our green like that. And then again, as I change the green, the yellow moved a little bit. So if you want to get more precise, you could do that. And you could really narrow down your focus here. But for demonstration purposes, this looks pretty good. Everything looks right on. And this line right here, this represents our skin tone. In our scene, you'll notice that there's a hand in it. And the background has the same kind of tinge to skin tone. So you can see the skin tone channel is really, really bright because there's a lot of the same tones in there. That's very useful if you know it's a close-up shot on an actor's face, then basically you'll know where your skin tones need to be. So now that I have these levels, you could see that everything looks neutral, everything looks correct. So then from there, if you wanted to go into the creative panel, you could add, you know, sharpening. I usually add a touch of sharpening. If you wanted to add vibrance, you can. And then from there, if you wanted to add any sort of stylistic aspect to it, you know, however your scene would call for it. For now, I'm just going to show you how to do it neutral. And then from there, you could add any of these. You could change your colors. You could change your hue, your saturation. You could adjust the intensity. You know, if you had a secondary hue that you needed to adjust, let's say, you know, let's say in the beginning you did your correction and then you wanted to remove you wanted to change the color of this shirt. Basically select your color and then you could change colors based on that. You wanted to desaturate it. So, you know, there's a lot of adjustments you could do from a stylistic standpoint. And then on the bottom here, you could make a vignette if you need to. This is my correction here. So for this particular scene, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this Lumetri color effect. I'm gonna go to my first shot and I'm gonna paste it. So now all shots aren't created equal. So for this one, I could see my sky is pretty blown out. So I could bring down the exposure, get a little bit of that sky back, could boost up my shadows a touch. The correction is there. I mean, you could see the before and after. Another thing you could do is if you wanted to duplicate your layer, you could basically use this and create masks to expose certain things differently. And then from there, you would use your track mask. This works really well for interviews when the shot is a static shot. And you know, if you want to sharpen your subject's face, but not the rest of the background, or you wanted to boost the exposure on your subject's face, but not the background. I'm gonna jump to my next scene. This is an interior shot in the car. Just by looking at it, I can see it has more of a green tint to it because it's going through the windows. So from there, I could use my tint. I could change it to more of a magenta. So this is basically like your global color correction here. Like that looks pretty good. If you wanted to get more in depth, again, you can go to your color wheels and you could change it by highlights, midtones, and shadows. But if you wanted just a quick fix, you could use up here. And again, if I wanted to create another mask and I wanted to brighten up this area here, you could do that. Now I'm gonna go to my next clip, and as I paste it, I could see it's super blown out. So I'm gonna bring the exposure back down to 0 because now she's going back into the sun. I'm gonna bring my shadows up. I'm just gonna try to maintain my foreground here. You can see we even got lens flare here. So it's gonna change as it gets away from the lens flare. And then this shot's pretty similar. So I'm gonna take this, what I just did, I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste that here. If you have a lot of shots that are really, really similar, like if you're shooting in studio and your light is very consistent, you could take one effect and you could select all and you could paste it, or you could also go to the global source. If you go to source here and you paste it, this will copy the same effect on all of that same instance of that shot. So if you have a talking head shot where, you know, you need to do your voiceover and it's chopped up throughout the whole entire sequence and you wanted to paste it in every instance of that talking head, you could go to your source and you could paste it, and if you need to adjust it, it would adjust and change on every single clip. So that's the benefit of doing that. So then this is a little bit different of scene, but at the same time of day, paste it, go back to my scopes here. Right here, our highlights are the top part there. Could bring that to just under 100, I think, between 90 and 100. So that's a nice looking shot. It's exposed pretty well. Nice highlights, nice shadows. Going back to the interior shot, that looks pretty good. So once you get the hang of it and you know which shots need what type of correction, then you know you could work a lot quicker. You could even change the name of it. If you would go to rename, you could change this to doc. So then as you go in your sequence, you can color code certain shots that are from the doc. And then, you know, you could take your Lumetri doc correction and you could paste them to all the appropriate shots. Going back to our color checker here, I walked you through pretty much everything here. On the side here, these are different types of skin tones. So if you wanted to just mask that out, they're all right on this line, darkest to lightest. All right, so now you know if you're on set as an editor, you know, if you know somebody who's on set, and make sure that, you know, you throw one of these color checkers in some of the scenes. This will save you a lot of time in post-production color correcting. It works really well when you're using consistent light like the sun or, you know, ambient light. And yeah, so this is my workflow. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, if you have any questions or comments, you know, leave it in the comments below and follow us for more. Thanks.